Chase, where the heck have you been? I know, guys, you missed me. I can see that you're still around. Okay. The views on all the old podcasts, the listens have continued climbing. So thank you, thank you, thank you for still being here and sticking it out. It's been what, March to April, May, June, over 3 months, almost 4 months since we published the show. And there's a reason for that. Because as much as I love doing this, podcasting is honestly one of the things I enjoy most. I get to talk with people who I enjoy. I get to have good conversation with my friends and put it out there for everybody to learn from. And if you remember, we were making a shift. I had started talking about it in the podcast that just naturally in 2023, what happened is I started having some of my clients come back to me and say, "Hey, Chase, you coached me on fitness, you coached me on mindset, you coached me on lifestyle, and I want to build my own thing. I went and I got these coaching certifications, this nutrition certification, this mindset certification, but you're an entrepreneur. How did you do this?" And at first, I'll be honest, guys, I had some resistance to this because I was like, I'm not a business coach. But then I sat with that and I thought, well, I am in business and I've grown multiple businesses. I'm now buying and acquiring multi-million-dollar businesses. And I'm also a coach. So if we had a Venn diagram there of those two, well, what will meet in the middle is a business coach. So I took on a couple of clients, just like monthly mentoring calls, right? I was still a little bit in that imposter syndrome of stepping into a new paradigm. And what happened is these guys started seeing upticks in sales, enrollments, their content started going better. I was like, oh, maybe I have something to offer here. Maybe, right? Soft talk. Let's take that out. I have something to offer here. So I asked in my broadcast channel on Instagram, hey, who's in here? Turns out a lot of my audience was aspiring coaches or coaches who looked up to me and what I had built. So I said, hey guys, I understand that, there's a lot of badass coaches in here and I've got almost a decade of business experience. If I ran a business workshop, who's there? I think we had like 10 people there at that first workshop in December of 2023. And 2 people signed up right away off the back end of that. Another person before December closed, and we were off to the races. Okay? I coached the same way that I'm now coaching it. I took high touch one-to-one clients first before I built any sort of offer. I think one of the biggest downfalls in the market is people saying, hey, you're a coach, come build this course, without ever taking offers. Having a good, robust, built out course, a good, without ever taking clients. I said offers. Having a good, robust, built out course is amazing. It protects your time. It still delivers all of your knowledge. And then you can use your coaching touch points to truly help move people past the resistance so they can take the action. And taking 3 to 5 to 7 high touch one-to-one clients to figure out, one, what everybody gets, what you can coach, what you enjoy coaching, and what really is outside of your zone of genius, and what you can systemize and deliver to people in a way that they can consume it in their own time and really up-level the efficiency on how they can consume it and how it can be taught. Then we build a course. So that's what we've been doing, guys. I spent through March enrolling one-to-one clients. And then towards the tail end of March, we started considering a group program, started putting people into a school community. And then in May, we started early enroll, like super early. I hadn't even talked about it, but I had some stuff built. People wanted more of just the program. So I enrolled a couple of people, super early bird in May. And that's where we're at. Okay, that's what's been going on. We're less than 4 minutes in here, and I feel like I've got you guys caught up on the shift that has taken place. Because I'll be honest, like when I opened my gym in 2014, fitness was the thing for Chase, right? And it will always be a thing. I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I eat organic, local food. I watch my sleep. And what I enjoyed teaching started to shift. Okay. I still love fitness. I still have one in-person fitness client. I went into the story work deep, and that went well. I enjoyed teaching story work. And as people started coming back around to me like, hey, how did you build this? I realized that I had a specific skill set in actually operating and coaching businesses and building them over the last 10 years, and being an entrepreneur who had built a business that my gym did multiple six figures per year. I had a team, they all had defined roles. So I've scaled something before. So as opposed to a lot of the people coming into the online business space saying, yeah, hey, I tried online business for a little bit and now I decided that I'm a business coach. Here, buy my stuff. And hey, a lot of them are helping people. I don't want to just throw rocks here. There's a lot of people helping out there. And maybe you don't work with me with business coaching. Find a guide though. Please, I still invest in myself. I almost always have a coach because I know that the next plateau can only be broke by grabbing a ladder that somebody else has already climbed and having them show me how to climb it. If 5 minutes into this, you're like, Chase, you are all over the place. What's going on here? It's because I hit record and I just knew I had to get something out here to you guys. I was like, oh man, there's something in my heart and my soul today that I'm lit up and I want to talk to you guys. That being said, a couple weeks from now, you will hear Joel Cochran interview me about the last decade as an entrepreneur and what that has entailed, what I've learned, and what I'm doing now. And Joel is going to structure that a lot more than what Chase is doing here for you guys. So by all means, if 5 minutes in, you're like, oh man, well, I'm going to go wait for that structured one. Cool. And if you're with it, hang with me. This is going to be like less than 10 minutes because I want to talk about what I've seen so far. First off, and this one might sting, it happened for me, and I've seen it in a bunch of coaches, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. The Dunning-Kruger Effect on the vertical axis is confidence, and on the horizontal axis is experience. And when we have very low experience, our confidence is high. And that graph then starts to dip down as it goes across, because as we get more experience, our confidence goes lower. But then it starts to slowly and gradually climb the more experience we get. And it's the age old, the more we know, the more we realize we really don't know. And what unfortunately happens in the online space, and what happened to me when I first went online, even after running a business, is, oh, well, I see everybody doing it and they're all putting all this free content out. So I can just piece this together and I'll be good. Well, I'm getting engagement on my posts and people are talking to me. So obviously something's going to happen. And yes, that is part of it. Business is a game of lagging indicators, meaning that you put the effort in day over day, week over week, and you'll start to get people right out of the gate. And that really consistent flow of business, of leads, of clients comes from you putting action in over and over again. However, what I see is coaches taking the wrong actions over and over again. These actions that are almost right. But I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I just got to close these sales now. Like, I just got to get them on the call, but I know I'm almost there. I know I'm there. But because they see themselves as a coach and they want themselves to be seen as an authority, there's this internal resistance to like, well, I'm going to go find a guide and actually practice what I preach. Like, well, I'm a coach, so I'm supposed to know, right? Listen, you might be a phenomenal fitness coach, but knowing how to run a business is a different game entirely. That's, if I'm honest here, this is part of the reason that I transitioned to business, because I realized that in running my gym and in building businesses, I had left some of the fitness coaching skills aside, because what had become more important in scaling my business was running a business. And what I learned that I actually enjoyed more was the business side of things. Some of you, it's a necessity to learn the business, but you still love the fitness, you love the mindset, you love the relationship coaching that much more. Makes sense? Cool. I've got about 2.5 minutes here. I said I would keep this one under 10 minutes, and we are going to adhere to that. Let's talk about imposter syndrome. I like to say imposter syndrome is opportunity knocking. And the way that it shows up in relation to our business is it tricks us into not taking action because we don't think we deserve the business of our dreams. Let that one land for a second. Imposter syndrome tricks us into not taking action because it tells us to believe that we don't deserve the business that we could actually have. And then what happens is we look around and we start casting stones, throwing stones, like I almost tripped into at the beginning of this podcast, this video. By the way, if you're listening to this on audio, we're posting everything to YouTube moving forward. If you want the video. It's what I almost tripped into here, right? Is we can get so caught up in like, well, is this even working? We start throwing stones at other things as opposed to just focusing on what we can do to keep moving forward. There's a poem by Antonio Machado I'll leave you guys with, and I won't remember. I will remember it as much as I'm able to right now. And it's along the lines of, wanderer, there is no path. The path is your footsteps. There is no path. The path is made by walking. There is no wave, only wakes upon the sea. The path that you're walking right now has never been walked before by you. There have been individuals who have walked very similar paths and who can help you up that path. Your path has never been walked before, and that's why it feels new. The scary thing about the unknown is that we only know what we stand to lose. And it's hard to know what we stand to gain. A lot of people think that they want a goal. And what they've become addicted to, though, is the feeling of what they expected, of the feeling of the gap between what they expected and what actually happened. Because then they still have something to pretend they're striving for. Because if you actually reach that goal, well, now it's time to level up and reach another goal. And that's fucking scary. We were all over the place in these 10 minutes. And what it comes down to here is what I want to leave you guys with is gratitude that you're still here. I've seen the podcast listens continue to climb on the old episodes in months of me being silent. So thank you. And I'm going to go a clip over 10 seconds or 10 minutes here. If you were here from before and you're like, man, Chase, I was more here for the mindset and the lifestyle, there's still going to be a ton of that, of the personal development and the mindset piece, because when it comes to running a business, yes, the tactical stuff, the skills are super important. The tangible result is super important. And the story in our head dictates the business that we can build. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I will be seeing you weekly consistently from here on out.